first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. Cool. Ready?
Hello, everybody. My name is Seth.
Yeah, use the microphone so they can hear you on the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Hey, everybody. My name is Seth. I'm the campus minister at the University of Florida. I get the privilege. Yeah, go Gators. For any Gator grads in here, go Gators. If you guys don't know, I'm in charge of basically, especially the men's side, right? So it's me and then Ashley. And we'll talk about the numbers a little bit more, but this is kind of just a quick little photo, just collage of all of our students. You'll see all three of us on here. But the University of Florida, we have a church. We're attached to a parish called St. Augustine Catholic Church, kind of like the one here, how it's attached to Miami. But yeah, so Catholic Gators by the numbers in 2024 through 2025, we average about 1,500 students on any given weekend at our masses. So we have a mass at 5:30 for vigil on Saturdays, 9 a.m., 11:30, a 1:30 Spanish. And our Spanish mass is, the celebrant is Father Raguel, as Father Rojas knows very well. And then we have a 5:30 and then a 7 p.m. So 1,500 students. 68 were received into full communion in 2025. This past year, very awesome pleasure to say that we had 84 come into the church this year, a few weeks ago for Easter Vigil. Beautiful opportunity for evangelization for on the University of Florida campuses. We have about 70 Bible studies in 24, 380 students. We average about 200 students per Newman dinner. That can fluctuate. The biggest we've ever seen is about 500 plus students. So this happens every single week. We will average about 200 students, usually a little bit more every single week. And that is for our mass and meal. And we'll talk more about our funding or our programming a little bit later. But over 450 students went on retreat this past year in 24 and 2025. So our sacramental life, exposition daily in our chapel. So we have a chapel that is attached to our student center. We have exposition of the Blessed Sacrament from 9 a.m. to noon in there. Then Mass happens at noon. After the noon Mass, exposition of the Blessed Sacrament will be in the main church right afterwards until 5 p.m., which will then have our 5:30 p.m. Mass, and Jesus will be reposed for the rest of the evening. But our chapel is accessible to our students 24 hours of the day. I'm sure these guys can tell you more about it. When I was there, it was an awesome place to be able to go write papers. If you're stressed, to be able to step away. But yeah, availability 24/7. We have confessions daily from 4 to 5, as well as from 10 to 11:30 on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So sacraments are readily available. And again, Mass at noon and 5:30 daily, and the rest of our weekend masses. So pretty active campus ministry, especially in the sacramental life. We can readily access the Blessed Sacrament. These are all of our committees. So all the different committees that kind of help form what we call our executive board. And Jacob can tell you a little bit about his side, but he's our men's chair. So each one of these has a chair, men's and women's. And then we have an executive board, and we meet every other week. And Gio is our president, so he's the co-chair for Catholic Gators. It's him and then a female. And they kind of they're making sure that all of our committees are running at the exact same time, making sure that the calendar is running well, making room reservations on campus if we need it. So really active campus ministry on that end. So we have a men's and women's, intellectual. Men's and women's is pretty self-explanatory, right? A men's and women's community. We've done, for our men's events, you want to talk about a little bit about it later? Yeah. Intellectual, bringing different speakers from across the country. This past semester, we brought in Jason Everett. I don't know if you guys know who Jason Everett is. He came and gave a talk at St. A's. We also have a good relationship with the Thomistic Institute, and they'll bring in speakers from across the country. If you guys know the book, Drinking with the Saints, the author of that book came and gave a talk. And then he gave us our own little special talk on the difference between sacred and holy the next day. And then social, so this is the committee that hosts all of our different social events. So on Fridays, they call it Flavit Fridays. Flavit is a field on the University of Florida campus They'll play different sports there every single Friday. And then they also are in charge of our different dances. Respect Life, obviously we're against abortion, and we are for life until natural death. And we took over 100 students this past year to the March for Life, right? Just about, and that's every single year we'll take students to the March for Life. But a big push recently for our Respect Life committee is fighting against the death penalty. And because there's 16 slated deaths in the state of Florida this year, which is record breaking. In the past, it's only been about 4. So a bunch of students will go hold a prayer service outside of the place of which they're going to execute the prisoners, and kind of telling their story. The most recent one actually had a big reversion after being in jail for so long. Our Adoremus, this is one of my favorite events. Adoremus is Latin for adore, right? Adoration. This happens once a month on a Friday. And if you haven't been to our church, if you haven't been to Gainesville, our church is right next to all of the bars. It's right next to Midtown. Our wall is touching the biggest bar in Midtown called McDinton's. So what will happen for Adoremus is at 8 p.m. we will have Mass. After Mass, the doors of the church will be opened. We will light candles along the sides leading up to the Blessed Sacrament, fully exposed for everybody to come see. And we will have street evangelizers outside asking people if they would like to come say a prayer and come light a candle. And we'll average close to 400 to 500 new students every single one of those Fridays. And we'll have music going on, praise and worship music, and things of that nature. So that's one of my favorite events. And at the very end, we have pancakes for students, because that ends at about 11. So from 11 to 12, they'll have pancakes. Service of the homeless, right, and things of that nature. Our Newman team, this is the team that cooks every single Tuesday for about 200 students. We'll have food from jambalaya. We had poutine this past week, chicken pot pie, shepherd's pie. So it changes every single week, huh? Yeah. Our ambassadors, this is what this shirt is about. Our ambassadors is a group of students that meets every week during Newman, and they are making sure that they are at every single table, that if there's a new person, they will find them and they will go sit next to them, making them feel welcome. That's one of our bigger committees, actually. So that's our ambassadors team. That's run by 2 people. And then outreach, we are on campus every single week, every single Thursday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Plaza de Americas, if you don't know, on the University of campus is one of the most heavily foot trafficked place on campus, and we'll set up a table. Different ways to try to evangelize. Our focus missionaries will bring, one of them has a little daughter, and we'll sometimes bring her. And no better evangelization tool than a child running around. Everybody will approach a child. So, we'll be on campus, we'll ask people how we could pray for them. If you have visiting priests, they've come out. Father Hill, I think, have you come out for outreach? Right, Father Hill has come visited us. He was with us this past weekend for a retreat, and we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, these are our outreach committee. And yeah, different retreats in 24 and 25, so this is a little bit outdated, but we have the Alpha Retreat. This Alpha Retreat is once a semester since 1977, even during COVID. We had a socially distanced retreat that year. We'll average about 70 new students every single semester that goes on this retreat. It's our community-based retreat, hence the name Alpha. It's supposed to help you as you start in your journey with Christ, but also in your journey with us at Catholic Gators. It's a testimony-based retreat. We'll have 10 different testimonies throughout the weekend, small group, things of that nature. So, and then our fire retreat, this was this past weekend. It's called Faith in Receiving the Eucharist. It's a Eucharistic-based retreat with perpetual adoration all throughout the night. Students will sign up for adoration at like 2 a.m. There will be a time slot starting at 10 p.m. all the way till the next morning when Jesus is reposed for Mass. And there will be a student in there even in the wee hours of the morning. One thing that is not on here is our silent retreat that just started this past year. Thanks to the congregants who come up, to Andres and Jerry and to Jay, we were able to have our very first silent retreat, our very first spiritual exercises. Father Hill was there as well. We do a lot with Father Hill. But yeah, we had 17 students at this first year. first time having it, and it was for 17 men, and it was an awesome experience. And Jay was going to tell you about his experience later, but it was almost every single person who's come back has been spreading the word about it. So hopefully next year, I'm going to try to book a time for us next year, and we'll have another silent retreat, hopefully a little bit bigger this time. But that's kind of our retreats. And we also have men's and women's days of reflections and things of that nature. I'm going to have these guys kind of talk about what their experiences are with CG first. This is Gio, everybody.
Hey guys, my name is Gio. I am a fifth year mechanical and aerospace major at UF. I'm co-president of Catholic Gators, so I help organize all the different things. But I want to talk to you guys today about the silent retreat that I just went on about a month ago. So going into the silent retreat, I had already applied for graduate school. I'm supposed to be graduating in May, then start in August grad school. Going to be studying aerospace system engineering. I was very set on that. But then right around like a week before the retreat, someone asked me why not mission, and more specifically mission with SOLT, Society of the Lady of the Trinity, serving in Belize. And I would be teaching high schoolers out there. But at the time, I was very set on grad school, my career, just get out of school, get a job, and start my life post-grad. But the more I kind of prayed on it, going into the weekend, the more I kind of felt God calling me to go on mission. But I really didn't pray too hard until I got into the silent retreat. It was absolutely beautiful being in the silence, because my life is just so much noise. I don't like to be in my own head. Music's always blasting on my drives, always have something going on. That's okay. I'll just be louder. So silence really wasn't a big part of my life, but going into the weekend I was a little worried because I'm not used to silence. But once the silence started, it was just beautiful. We were doing the spiritual exercises, so we would get a reflection by one of the priests or brothers, and then we'd have time in silence to go pray. And these guys, as they can tell you, is my prayer spot was my hammock. Set up my hammock right in the forest, and it was a beautiful time where I just got to sit there and listen to the Lord. And some of the better sessions I've had was where I kind of like fell asleep. But I was in this like dream state of just sitting with the Lord, getting images. But one of the things that really stuck out to me was the Bible verse. I don't know it off the top of my head, but it was, if the Lord will feed the birds and take care of them, why won't he take care of you? So it was kind of just, why do I need to worry about this career, getting it done, get it out of the way, when I feel the Lord calling me towards something else? So that kind of gave me the courage to say yes to mission. And also there was another Bible verse during the Sin 1 session where it's, I believe it was Sin 1, but it was, whoever touched the plow and looks behind is not fit for the kingdom of God. So it was kind of just even more pushed me and to not worry about what would happen. That if I feel the Lord calling me to something, to do it, not just to sit around. Oh, let me take care of some things, and so, oh yeah, perfect. All good. Yeah. So it was that weekend that helped me say yes to God and to go on this mission trip. So perfect. Thank you. Yeah. Perfect. So it was that weekend that really helped me say yes to God and say yes to taking a year of my life out and going on mission and serving. And after that, just after the saying yes to that, just seeing how the Lord works, He like moved things away. Later that week after the silent retreat, I got accepted into grad school, and I was worrying, oh no, is this going to ruin my getting into grad school after mission and a bunch of things. But just seeing how the Lord like straightened the path, I was able to defer my admission for a year. So come a year from now, I would have another admission letter. Just seeing how the Lord straightened that path for me to do this after the retreat has really been beautiful and really helped me grow in my trust in the Lord. And yeah, that's pretty much what I got. Thank you guys.
Yeah, not to take up too much more time, but I'm Jacob. I'm also a senior with Geo, and I'm in charge of all the men's stuff that goes around at the Student Center. So typically we only have once a month meetings with all the men. But obviously this year with the ACU, because of Jerry, Jay, and Andy, there's been more involvement and more men coming to the church and to student activities because of the ACU. So on behalf of all of us from the Student Center, and just from myself, I want to thank all of you for your prayers and for your support. The ACU really has played a big role in my time at UF, seeing the men once a month and learning more about our Blessed Mother and more about the Ignatian spirituality. So all of you, you guys play a big role in that. So we just wanted to thank you. The silent retreat that Seth and Gio was talking about, that really was helped by you all. That was an idea that we've had for a long time, and this year, thankfully, the Lord provided, and St. Ignatius helped us out a little bit. So again, I just wanted to thank all of you for your prayers. Please know of our prayers. All the men in Gainesville, we're all praying for you. And yeah, I just wanted to thank you guys for your continued support. Why we're actually here physically in Miami is because yesterday we left Gainesville very early. We drove down here and we spoke to some of the seniors, juniors, and sophomores at Belen, just speaking about the importance of getting involved in campus ministry and all that. And then today we spoke to some seniors who are going to UF from Columbus. Again, just to give them sort of an invitation into campus ministry and to tell them what we're all about. So again, why we're here physically is also from a gift from you all. So yeah, know that all of you are always invited to St. Augustine when you guys are in Gainesville, just as you guys have so welcomed us here. So thank you all, and I'll give it back to Seth real quick.
Just a few more thank yous. We wanted to say a big thank you to Father Rojas yesterday for giving us a tour of Manresa yesterday. It was awesome. It was a beautiful spot. So Father, thank you for not only giving us a tour, but for also praying for us up in Gainesville. We feel it, we see it, and as these guys can tell you, our numbers are growing. We're averaging about 30 every single time we have an ACU night, an ACU formation night. It is growing. So thank you, Father. We also wanted, he's not here today, right? He's not here. Ernie's not here. We wanted to give a big thank you to Ernie. Ernie got us into Columbus to be able to speak to 7 men who are coming to UF, and we have their numbers. Want to be able to give them a spot, a home in Gainesville as they're leaving their home here. That's kind of really where we're desiring to give back to you guys, is being able to invest in your students and the people that you guys know here that are coming up to Gainesville, and giving them a place, a home, not only in community, but most especially in the Eucharist. And a big thing that I know that the ACU have really helped out in is vocations. Kind of a crazy number with vocations. In the past, I think 12 years, you've had about 60 or so men and women join religious life. And yeah, one of you guys' students, Eric Lastres, was one of our alumni, who's currently in formation with the Jesuits, but he also helped start the ACU here, and he was on our silent retreat, and he helped direct it with Father Hill and then Father Michael Wiginka. Excuse me. So yeah, we just wanted to give a big thank you to you guys and kind of show you guys what's been happening in Gainesville. I know it's pretty far up there. It's kind of a hike, and these guys do it every month. So thank you guys for giving us everything that we could desire up there, especially in the formation side. We know we may not see you guys every single week, but we know you guys are praying for us. And that is more than we could expect up in Gainesville. So yeah, thank you guys so much. We're praying for you guys. Thank you for having us.
All right, so again, thank you to the agrupados that's their apostolado. We're seeing the fruits. Great work, guys, great work. And they can count on our collaboration in any way, as you know. So with that said, let's go ahead and transform the room. Dinner's ready, and the main event comes up after we are all set up with the tables. So we're gonna need the strength of the UF guys to bring in the tables.